The stories shared on the Busy Baddies are submitted by real listeners and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. To protect the privacy of everyone involved, all names, companies, and identifying details have been changed or omitted. Any resemblance to real people or events are purely coincidental. We believe in keeping it real while keeping it respectful. Thank you for sharing your experiences and for trusting us to spill the tea with care.
When the lights go low and the real work begins, this is the Busy Baddies.
Where assistants come uncensored, the stories get spicy, and the corporate filter, Control Alt Delete.
I'm Michelle, EA to the CEO of a Fortune 150 company.
And I'm Mel, former C Suite EA turned admin rebel.
And we're here to talk about the real stuff, the stories that never make it to the all hands meeting. Hello, baddies. Welcome back.
Hello, hello.
Hey there. It's November. Not to put anybody on blast or anything, but my Christmas tree is up.
I just can't even believe we're at this point of the year already. It is crazy to
Yeah,
me.
totally crazy. So first, this episode is dropping the day after Veterans Day, so it just doesn't feel right without having a podcast of thanking all of our servicemen and women.
Yes.
We love you. We respect you. Thank you for all that you do for our lovely country.
That's right. Thank you for your service. Highly encourage anybody, anytime you are out and about to dinner or grocery shopping and you have someone in uniform behind you or you are dining out, offer to buy their meal, buy
Yeah.
their groceries, do something. Those
Thank
people,
'em.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It goes such a long way.
It really does.
Yep. I have several service members in my family and very appreciative of the freedoms they protect and the life that they allow me to live in this great country of the United States. So
Absolutely.
very thankful. But today we're going to get into, speaking of being thankful
Yeah.
and safe, we are going to talk about psychological safety.
Yes.
I have seen this pop up a lot recently in the workplace, on LinkedIn, TV shows,
Yeah.
blogs. And I feel like, the idea kind of came from this how much our job is psychological.
Yeah.
The weight that we have, we've talked about, it's alone at the top, the things that we see, just being intentional about, so a lot of people out there, they may say, well, what is psychological safety? Well, to me, in plain terms, it's feeling safe to take interpersonal risk.
Yeah.
Um, and to speak up or make mistakes, admit that you're actually human and that you
Right.
can't hold it all together. Um, in challenging things without the fear of retaliation or humiliation, because I think we've all been there.
Yeah, no, and I think it also kind of ties into being your authentic self, right? To see something, say something, um, something just doesn't feel right,
Yep.
or even noticing somebody reacting maybe in a room during
Yep.
a topic or
Yep.
a conversation. Just the freedom, I think, to call anything out and feel like you have the respect with your coworkers, your boss, at home with your spouse, with your family members. I mean, really anybody to say something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think as EAs, and maybe even more so as women,
Mhm.
we have been taught to be in the background, be in the shadow, be the silent partner, so to
Right.
speak. And and it's like I love that we're finding our voice, but also like you said, speak up. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
But that's hard if you don't have the right environment, right?
Well, yeah, and especially in the workplace, I
Mhm.
think there's always that worry of
Mhm.
holding something over your head, or
Yep.
maybe you may feel okay to do it, and then months down the road in a review or just
Mhm.
a one-on-one with your boss, like it ends up coming back as negative feedback
Yep.
or something you shouldn't have done. And then, boy, if that doesn't immediately
Oh, yeah.
silence you
Yeah,
from ever speaking up again, I
absolutely.
mean, it'll change your whole world.
It will, and I think especially when you're in the C-suite, it's maybe a little bit different because of the access that you have
Mhm.
to stuff or information, and being able to either process that or feel safe enough to speak up because you are at the highest level. So
Right.
the visibility is really super high.
Mhm.
We all know how that feels, but and and maybe even something around, the honesty and confidentiality. Like, you can be honest, but also you can't call out things that you're not supposed to know.
Right.
you
Yeah, I mean,
know?
there's a very fine line of, I mean, I would say that the majority of those on my team, um, I mean, most people just have to understand, like, I'm going to see and read
Mhm.
everything.
Yep.
And there comes a point that even though it's confidential,
Mhm.
that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to read it,
Right.
because at the C-suite level, I mean, 80% of the stuff may be
Is confidential.
confidential.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. And how do you process that information,
Right.
right? Like, say it's you see a job approval come through for that leader and it's an EA role for somebody underneath them.
Mhm.
They have to be the ultimate approval because they're the budget holder, but the offer is more than what you make and you're the senior EA on the team.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel safe? Yes, you shouldn't see that information, but do you have that safety to speak up and say, "Hey, I saw this because I was approving it on your behalf. Can we talk about this?" Like,
Right.
maybe don't paint it in a negative light, but just say, "Hey, I feel like we need to have a discussion."
Yeah, and just, I guess, to kind of stay on that, the salary as the example that you threw
Mhm.
out, I mean, you you can't always assume that even your leader
Mhm.
is in the know of, salary
Right.
ranges of whatever. I mean, they're
They're not paying
relying,
attention.
yeah, they're relying on your HR
Mhm.
partner,
Yep.
to a have a great offer
Yep.
that, this person is going to accept, but
Mhm.
you want to have, that, I guess, empowerment of your team, that they're doing their work,
Yep.
finding out what the averages are, or, and any of those things that HR folks do. Shout out to HR, because I don't know what the hell they do. Uh, but you want those in your company to be doing what they're supposed
Right.
to be doing. Like, that's not our leaders'
Mhm.
expertise.
No.
But does it always happen that way? I mean, I doubt it.
No. No, and EAs, we're positioned in a high trust, high stakes, high visibility environment. You're the gatekeeper, you're the eyes and the ears of the executive team. You know, you're the person who helps communication flow. So to
Right.
me, if I feel safe telling my executive when something is off or misaligned, such
Mhm.
as salary,
Yeah.
I personally feel like I am empowering my leader to make a better
Right.
decision. And even if it's going back to that person and saying, "Hey, like, I understand that HR told you this is the salary range,
Right.
but that is very misaligned with what my EA makes, and then they're going to advocate on your behalf."
Right.
Or B, say, I think we need to rethink this and I need to speak to HR.
Right.
They
Yeah.
don't know, again, what you said. They don't know what they don't know.
Right. No, that's
No.
exactly it. And
Yep.
that could pertain to anything.
Yep.
I think as that trust is built,
Hmm.
I wholeheartedly believe that that's what our leaders are expecting us to do.
100%.
Because that's just one of those things in our job
Hmm.
that probably I can't ever remember a discussion of, hey,
Yeah.
we're now the trust is built. Here's
Hmm.
all the random things that could come up that I'm going to be counting on you
Right.
to help me. I think
Hmm.
that is just something a good EA, as you build the trust and the time and the understanding of what the job is, that you're just going to do that.
Absolutely.
And we've said in numerous episodes, like, we are partners.
Hmm.
It's not just leader and an EA.
No.
I mean, we're true work partners.
Absolutely.
We work together. We're a duo, a pair,
Hmm.
and that's just one way that
Hmm.
we work together.
Yeah, and I think EA, like you said, it's a partnership, and in some ways, there's going to be things that you have to do as an EA that you may end up managing up.
Yeah.
Your boss may not be an emotionally intelligent person.
Hmm.
And if you are good at emotional intelligence, you can help them by managing them in that area and really revealing some. They may be totally oblivious to some things that are going
Yeah,
on.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They may be so smart,
Yes.
obviously know
Yes.
how to run businesses
Mhm.
and their areas and
Yep.
strategic thinking and all of those
Yep.
things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the most emotional or can read the room the
Mm-mm.
best. I mean, and
Nope.
at our place of work, I mean, we work with a lot of engineers, and
Mhm.
it's always been, one of those areas that their personality
Yep.
and emotion, like,
Yep.
they're just different in
Mhm.
that sense. Obviously, they're amazing. We need engineers,
Right.
but, it's kind of that, like, stereotypical
Mhm.
situation in
Yep.
one of the many, many jobs out there that they kind of get put in a
Mhm.
category that, they're quiet,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
they want to work alone, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, it's tough because and to me, that's one of our jobs, is to be able to read a room, to be the culture feeler,
Mhm.
and even point out, like, "Hey, did you know that so and so's mom is, like, struggling with cancer?" Like, they may have not told you that,
Mhm.
but I just want it to be in the forefront of your mind in case, hey, things start to lag back a little bit.
Right.
Um, you know, I know that you can't be everywhere and everything to everyone, and they're so in the day to day, the running the operations, the business, that they kind of sometimes tend to lose the human side of it.
No, and that is such a good thing to touch on, because that's exactly
Mhm.
right. They are just so busy,
Mhm.
meeting to meeting to
Yep.
meeting, that they rely on us to kind
Mhm.
of bring that human factor of, oh, just FYI, so and so just celebrated their 30th wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
Like, they'd probably love to have a text from you that just
Right.
says, like,
Yeah.
I have birthdays and anniversaries
Mhm.
on our calendar,
Yep.
because it's just something that, it's not intentional, but it's just one of those things that they live so fast day
Yep.
to day in work life,
Yep.
that um, they need us to slow them down a little
Yep.
and
Yep.
get into that, psychological
Yep.
part of the job that
Yep.
nobody really talks about all the time.
No, and it should be appreciated, I think, and valued far more than it is. But, I think, again, I think that in this role there's so much psychological heaviness.
Yeah.
We take on our leaders' emotions. We take on the emotions around us. We have the emotions of what's going on in our personal life at home.
Yeah.
And we kind of forget to, at least for me, I find myself going inward,
Yeah.
and am lucky and blessed enough to be surrounded by some people who will call me out and say, "You've been really quiet lately. Like, are
Yeah.
you all right?" You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Melissa
it's like,
is
yeah,
not quiet.
no. If I'm quiet, I'm either pissed off, sad, or
Watch out.
really overthinking.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for people that kind of help pull me out of that and
Yeah.
me get out of my head, because it's like I don't realize that I'm doing it, but when
Right.
the load is really heavy, like, I'm thankful that so be someone who checks on someone.
Yeah.
If they are a vivacious, loud, fun-loving, carefree, lighthearted person, and you've noticed they're a little inward lately, maybe they don't talk much at lunch with a group of
Yeah.
people, like, to me, those could be signs that there's something dynamic-wise that's going on that's
Right.
making them go a little inward.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've had the discussion, with my boss, and it's one of those things of, listen, I'm not normally snappy
Right.
or short.
Yeah.
And so if you see me doing that,
Yes.
not necessarily to me,
Right.
but if you see me
Mhm.
doing that, whether it's through email
Mhm.
communication or
Yeah.
just talking with others, it's like, let me know so I can like
Mhm.
check myself.
Yep.
Because yeah, we're all human.
100%. Yeah. And it's just one of those things to call out and be very, cognizant of, and I think that kind of leads us into the next point we wanted to make, which, what are some red flags, where it could be a sign to you that your workplace is maybe lacking psychological safety, and maybe it's not even your workplace, it's just your team or your leader.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably one that's like even most heavy on
Mhm.
me because, I'm a crazy perfectionist is mistakes.
Yep. Yep.
Of even the smallest
Mhm.
mistakes getting completely blown out
Oh,
of,
yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, like
Talk about a killer.
no. Yeah, and it's one of those things that I don't even think like it's EA leader, it's probably just leader and employee in
Mhm.
general, but like nobody wants to feel like they can't even make an honest mistake
Right.
without it then meaning like, oh gosh, I'm gonna hear about that in my
Yeah.
end of the year review of like that one time
Yeah.
like I sent an email too fast and was missing something, like
Yeah, like, newsflash, everybody. Everybody's human, we all
yeah,
make mistakes.
right.
Own them. I always tell people, get in front of them.
Yeah,
If you made a mistake and it's honest, just say, "Hey,
yeah,
I really messed up. I know that you're not aware of it, but I just wanna be honest and forthright with you."
yeah.
Somebody can at least respect that, whereas if you try to hide it, it's probably gonna go off the rails and it's not gonna be
Right. No,
good.
like, take it
Yeah.
from us and probably so many
So
people listening, like,
yeah.
just, like,
Yeah.
agreeing and shaking their
Yes.
head.
Yep.
Like, own it.
Yep.
There's so much more respect to be gained from
Mhm.
just, like, "Ugh,
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking," or "I was
Yeah.
working too fast." I mean,
Right.
we all have
Mhm.
our things.
Yep. Yeah, and everybody's human.
Yeah.
Again, like, just give grace.
Yeah. What about you?
I think when your input is dismissed
Mhm.
or interrupted,
Mm.
this has always been a big thing anytime that I personally have sat in staff meetings. Because number one, to me, I always felt inferior to the smarter people in the room, the higher up vice presidents, directors, whatever it was. And I always had the fear of, what if I say something stupid? Or,
Yes.
what if I'm that person? Or
Yeah.
if someone would interrupt?
Right.
And I remember my last leader was such a gracious person, and she did this for every single person that sat in her meetings.
Mhm.
If someone was speaking and someone interrupted them, she would stop that other person and she would say, "I think so and so had something that they wanted to say,"
Mm.
to help you find that voice again and be like, "Wow, I really do have the floor."
Right.
But it was empowering, and it was like, and I always have thought that even in other meetings that I've been in, if I seen somebody being,
Not heard
yeah,
and
like I
yeah.
would speak up and say, "Hey, I think so and so, had something to say." Or
Or
if
finish
if
your
you,
thought,
yes, yes, and
Yeah.
I think some people too, even on piling on top of that, will try to take someone else's idea that nobody heard
Mhm.
and take credit for it.
Yeah.
And a good way to kind of combat that is to say, "Hey, I think so and so said that earlier in the meeting.
Right.
Do you have anything to add to that?"
Right. So powerful.
Yeah.
And not only, allowing the person that got interrupted to
Yeah.
continue and
Yes.
show that, like, no, we saw that interruption.
What you has
And
to say matters.
yes, and so for the interrupter,
Mhm.
I mean, no better way to correct an
Mhm.
action
Yep.
than for them to kind of just be like, oh shit.
Yeah. Call
Well,
it out for exactly what it
yeah,
was.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have, the 12 other people in the room or however many, like, boy,
I'm not
Julie
gonna
was a real
interrupt.
dick, like,
Yeah, and it's in a nice way. Like, I remember the first time I heard her do it, I was like, wow, like that is a very kind way of looking at someone in their eye and saying, "How about you shut the hell up and let that
right.
person finish what they were saying?"
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, like that's powerful because
Mm-hmm.
most of the time people just honestly either they're not good listeners and they talk over other people,
Yes.
or they just really want all the attention in the room, which
Yeah.
to me 9 times out of 10 that's been my experience.
Yeah. No, and for I'm glad we're talking about this because it's also a
Pet peeve.
self no, well, no, I was gonna say it's also something that I can self reflect on because I am over the charts impatient.
Yes.
And I find myself completely unintentionally
Mhm.
interrupting. And I have to, in my own brain, recognize it. And it's not anything, like I said, like I'm doing to intentionally cut
Mm.
anybody off, but my impatience is so
Yeah.
short
Yeah.
that in my head, like I'm already finishing your set, like I already heard it and I'm already on the response.
Yeah.
And so like that's an opportunity that I have to
Yeah.
work on
Yeah.
because I know that I do it.
I do it simply because if I don't say it, it's gonna leave me. I literally cannot remember like the basic things.
Are we showing
I'm
our
like,
age
yeah,
today on the
I don't know if
podcast?
it's like menopause brain or what
Right.
if I have too much on my brain, but I'm always like, oh my god, if I don't say this, then I'm not gonna get it out.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know what I
gonna
mean?
forget
And
it.
it's like, and
Yeah.
then it's like, no, just write it down
Yeah.
and circle back to it. But
Yeah.
it's very, very hard
It
for
is.
us.
It
It is
is.
for me too. And it's
Um so let's kind of shift to, I mean, this is also kind of in the red flag area and the reality of the thing, but being on this
Mhm.
psychological journey that we're on, I want to touch on like actual psychological abuse
Mhm.
because I think that also
Yep.
is a very common
Mhm.
thing. Probably, I don't want to say more so in an EA
Sure.
role,
Yep.
but I do feel like there is probably a very high percentage out
Mhm.
there of EAs that take on some psychological abuse
Yes.
at the hands
Mhm.
of leaders. And I would like to say that of course it's always probably with the best intention,
Mhm.
but I think we take a lot of that from leaders because we are a safe
Mhm.
space.
Yep.
And so I think that vulnerability that we see
Mhm.
our leaders in
Yep.
and just being that partner to them,
Mhm.
I think it also opens a door for
Yes.
probably some really ugly realities for some of the
Yeah.
EAs out there.
Yeah, and I think part of that is the power dynamic.
Mhm.
Some people are on such a power trip. And you saying that, it's a great call out because it brings back memories of a couple different leaders that I've worked for in
Mhm.
my very long journey as an EA. And I have had unpleasant things said to me, sent to me, done to me, um, ways I have been made to feel less than. Um, and they are just unapologetic, relentless about it. I
Yeah.
mean, they are not sorry in the least. You are never going to hear they're sorry.
Mm.
Um, and it's soul crushing because we pour so much of what we do into making life easy for them, for
Yeah.
being a good face for them in the organization. And one person stands out in particular to me. And I think it made it all the harder because this person was just dismissive of the role, didn't understand what it did, took every chance they could to just cut you down to the knees, make you feel incompetent, when really it was like after I left, I think they finally were like, by the 5th person in about 8 months, I'm sure the
Mm.
person probably reflected and was like, "Ooh,
Maybe it's me.
yeah, it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me,"
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, "Wow," like,
Mhm.
okay, so it and I always reflect. I always think, I have always been a person where I try to have introspect and go, "Okay, is there something that I'm doing that's making them think that this is okay?
Right.
Am I not speaking up and advocating for myself when I should? Um, am I legitimately that incompetent, that
Yeah.
I mean, I do that. I was telling my husband last week, not to get on a tangent, but I was like, let me like really think about, am I doing anything wrong that is making this situation worse?
Yeah.
Am I part of the problem?
Right.
And if not,
And
then
kudos to you
yeah,
for one even, you know, thinking that
yeah,
it may be you.
yeah, yeah. Because it's very possible, right? Like
Mhm.
I come from a role that I'm very good at. I knew what I was doing, and to be like a duck out of water and to feel vulnerable to people was like, whoa, this is really like weird,
Yeah.
but it's just it's tough. I
Well, yeah, and
say
it gets you thinking of, gosh, did I read that all wrong?
yeah.
And, here I'm trying to grow myself,
Mhm.
learn something new, and maybe that just wasn't
No.
the right move for me.
No, and it made me actually, anybody who follows me on LinkedIn a couple days ago, you may have saw that I posted, I have always long loved this Teddy Roosevelt thing that he put, which obviously he's been dead for a very long time,
Right.
but it's still very relative. And in the post, I even gave a shout out to executive assistants because the name of it is The Man in the Arena. And it says, it's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how strong or how the strong man stumbles, or well where the doer of the deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again. And it goes on to say, because there's no effort without error or shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who is at the best knows in the end that triumph is of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. And to me, it was an introspect, and that's why I put in there, my shout out, because to me, the EAs are the ones in the arena.
Mhm.
You know, you guys are the ones who step in, you prevent the fire before it ever starts.
Yeah.
And really,
We throw
honestly,
ourselves in front of the fire.
yeah, and you notice the fire before there's ever even smoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
You bridge communication when tensions are high. You advocate for clarity. You know, you just you hold the lines when nobody is watching. To
Right.
me, that is the man in the arena. Like
Right.
the EA role is the arena and you guys are the ones in the trenches. Like I have always loved that.
That is so first off, I have never heard that.
Yeah.
So incredible to kind of bridge that
Mhm.
with the EA role because I feel like so often,
Mhm.
like the role just isn't taken seriously.
No, and it's easy to critique when you're the one that's not doing the work.
Right. Yeah.
So for leaders, again, it's our fault in some ways because we make it so easy and look like, oh, it takes so little effort. This is just like,
Yeah.
tying my shoes. But if they were to do our job, sit in our shoes, have people of upper status in the company and higher up on the food chain talk to them the way that they do us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another great call out, I think. There is some leaders who are just shamefully empowered and entitled to talk to executives of other leaders however they feel.
Yeah. And it's disgusting,
It is.
you
It
know?
is. We deserve respect too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's one of those areas that I think our leaders continuing to partner with us and
Mhm.
to verbally say in any communications. I mean, I know that my leader specifically, I mean, she calls me very publicly
Mhm.
her right hand.
Yep. Yep.
And I think that sets such a
It
bar
does.
for everybody on her team, officers of our company. Like, the more she takes our partnership
Mhm.
seriously and, openly communicates about how we work together, I think it just goes to show you how important that is and no better no better thing than leading by example.
No, exactly. Speaking of leading by example, if you're an executive assistant looking for something relatable, you need to be subscribed to CCing My EA, which is a weekly newsletter that's put on by Johnny Woo. Every Thursday, he delivers a quick email with 5 new job listings, 3 fun posts, and 1 helpful tech tip straight to your inbox every single week. Johnny not only has a talent for reaching out to the EA role in a way that feels fresh, modern, and accurately useful. No fluff, no outdated professionalism, which is on point for the Batty brand. So go get your inbox together and subscribe to CCing My EA by Johnny Woo.
All right, so let's kind of turn this into action and let's talk about how we reclaim our voice.
Yeah, I feel there's some strategies, that even if your leader, your culture, your workplace, your coworkers, I feel like you could be a trendsetter for this.
Yeah.
Put it on your work plan even.
Yeah.
you
No,
know?
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the more you kind of
Mhm.
slowly trust your voice,
Mhm.
your perspective,
Yep.
believe in that and, find those little opportunities to provide input, I
Yep.
think will build that foundation of becoming that person of being able to, you know, share.
Yeah. And you're a culture builder anyway, whether you know it or not.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of people who look to you for the tone.
Yeah, and there's no better way that when you're doing it,
Mhm.
that person is going to
Mhm.
remember so that when the opportunity arises
Yep.
for them,
Mhm.
they're going to remember, "Oh my gosh,
Yep.
I was in that room and you
They
know,
planted this seed.
yeah,
Yes.
and so here I'm noticing this and
Mhm.
I think I can say something. Well,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's no different than teaching your dog tricks, right?
Right.
Like, not to compare humans to animals, but like you're gonna do something
Yeah.
so much more often when you're getting positive results
Yeah.
back from it.
Yeah. But shout out to all the dachshund owners out there because I have a mini long haired and it is the hardest thing to train anything to because he's like, F you.
Yeah,
You live in
I'm
my
fabulous.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fab. I have my own Instagram page, by the way. Um, and he just has 0 Fs to give. Like
Yeah.
he's like, whatever. Like you want me to do what? I'm gonna do whatever the opposite of that is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't be a dachshund.
Yeah. You're gonna get shirts made.
That's right.
That
Don't be
says
a
that.
dachshund.
Yeah. Merch coming soon.
That's right. And then I think another one is find ways to express your ideas safely, and I think a couple good examples of that would be, maybe you start out the sentence with, would it be helpful
Mm,
if I
yes.
did X, Y, and
Yeah.
Z? Would
What
it
can
be
I do for you?
Yes, yes, because everybody loves to feel like somebody's doing something for them.
Absolutely.
And another one is, how about we consider this? Or how about we look at it from this angle?
Yeah.
That could be maybe another way.
Yeah.
Just give a different perspective. You're listening to their input, but you're also giving yourself a
Yeah.
little a
Yeah.
little kudos.
And I think another thing is, starting with those you feel maybe
Mhm.
closest and
Yep.
safest at work.
Yep. Yep.
Um, we're all probably part of some sort of
Mhm.
micro team,
Yep.
that whether it's your
Mhm.
own team, or you're in this common group, working on a project, and so you spend a lot of time together. Kind of just dabble in it there and
Yeah.
just test those waters.
Yeah, and plant a few bad seeds, see if they're repeated. I always like to test the waters with some people because I personally am not one who trusts many people at work because I've been scorned and burned a couple
Mhm.
times, but I'm a pretty open, honest, and transparent person, so usually if I trust someone, it's because I feel like they're pretty authentic.
Yeah.
And I heard the other day, actually, kind of squirrel, but um, they said, "If you cuss a lot, it means you're authentic." And I was like, "I am the most authentic MFer in the whole world." But I was like, I love that because I think that is authenticity. Like, you
Yeah.
can be exactly who you wanna be. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much freedom in that. Like, people will love
Absolutely.
you for who you are. You don't have to fake it. That's exhausting.
It really is, and especially in the workplace.
Yeah, exactly.
You should not
No.
step into your car at 5 o'clock
No.
and just exhale.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's not who we want at work.
No, no, and I think lastly for me would be, you know, I think if you feel that there is a boundary that needs to be drawn or a hard line that you need to, a hard conversation really that you need to have with somebody around, I just don't think you should talk to me like that.
Yeah.
Advocate for yourself, but do it with a calm authority and don't come accusatory.
Yeah. And for those that are on the other side of that
Mhm.
discussion, let's not be defensive.
No.
Let's understand that you want to know what maybe
Mhm.
there was something that I did that has them feeling that way.
Yep.
Thank them, be
Mhm.
grateful, understand that that probably was very hard for them to do, and
Yep.
you know coming out of it, you both will be better.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I feel like I remember um a therapist told me one time, she's like, we as humans tend to be very accusatory.
Mhm.
And she taught me about I statements, like me saying something like, I feel frustrated when dishes are left in the sink. How I would have said that before therapy was, you always leave your mess
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's me being accusatory.
Right.
Or you always leave dishes in the sink. Instead, you tell them, I feel when you do
Yeah.
X.
Yeah.
That's a great way to approach it.
Yeah. Look at this free
I
lesson
know,
you're giving
right? And some
out.
kind I pay a lot of money in therapy for
Yeah.
those
I love
those
it.
I feel and
Yes.
accusatory statements. Because anybody who's married to a man, you know how they love you, right? So it's one of those things where it's just, I think again, assume positive intent,
Always.
take it internal first and say, did I do something to make them act that way? And if not, address it. Like,
Yeah.
just do it
And
head on.
not only like thinking of it like a question, but a
Mhm.
statement.
Yeah.
I did something that has them feeling this way.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I don't think that anybody giving that feedback is making
Mm-mm.
it up, right?
No. No.
And like you said,
Mm-mm.
the intent could have been totally positive,
Mhm.
but it could have just been the way it was delivered
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So,
And somebody always likes to feel like you're taking the blame anyway. So,
yeah, exactly. All right, so wrapping this up, some key takeaways.
Yeah.
I think as EAs, we can model safety by
Mhm.
how we listen, we share, and we respond.
Yeah. And I think, feeling safe, confident, protected, so to speak, like you said, kind of find your army in your village. Um, I think that only promotes good performance,
Mhm.
confidence. I think work gets done better if
Absolutely.
everybody just feels safe.
Yeah.
So, maybe this week just say one thing out loud that you've been holding back, whether it's big or small.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
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 And then, drop us a comment and
Yeah.
let
What
us
you
know
did.
what you did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's, I think it's an talked about
Mhm.
unspoken thing maybe that we struggle with, but kind of going back to, gosh, one of the first episodes, which feels crazy. Um, it's important to have psychological safety. And if you
Yeah.
don't have it, you're working for someone who's a tyrant. Maybe think about switching jobs. Like
Yeah.
I always say, there's some things that money just isn't worth.
Right.
Your self-worth, your value,
Your
your
peace.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, life is too short.
Well, yeah, and at the end of the day, if we're not happy at work, we're bringing it home with us.
Yeah, and you
And
spend so much
mhm.
time there.
Yeah, and that's not fair to our family, our spouse,
No,
our
no,
partner, anything.
no,
So,
because my husband has hated several people that I worked with.
yeah, for sure. And
Because
they probably
yeah,
remember them and can name them.
absolutely, because they absolutely, but they because I think it's a protection thing for
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I can't, but I see the heart and value that you put into what you're doing, and then for them to treat you like
Oh,
that, like it's
yeah.
a protection
Yeah,
thing. I get it.
absolutely. Yeah,
But it's
which is
still
so hot.
yeah. Look at you being all protective and stuff.
All
But
right, everybody, that's it for us today. We're looking forward to jumping into some fun holiday topics.
yes.
We're hitting November. We're going into the craziness of the end of the year. But we got some fun things coming up for you.
Yep, yep. And be sure to listen next week where we talk about, we get the question all the time, what do you mean when you support in parentheses a leader?
Yeah.
Like, does that mean that we like help them on and off the toilet? Like what is
Thank
support? So
goodness,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, that's personal assistant work. That's a different
Yeah.
episode. So you guys have a good week. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye. That's it for us today, bringing order to corporate chaos.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that follow button.
Yours truly, Melissa,
And Michelle,
the
the
Busy
Busy
Baddies.
Baddies.